Hey creative people and art lovers, welcome back to another video. So if you're following me on Instagram, you'll be knowing that I was quite a bit occupied in a certain work and I was about to upload a tutorial on it. So yeah, here it is. So this video is gonna be a tutorial video on how to draw a realistic eye. So yeah, I chose to pick a reference from a site and started working on it, and of course today I'll be sharing the tutorial with you guys. So be with me in the entire video. You can see that I'm already done with the outline and have applied a base layer to it. And this will help you to figure out where you require to put more shades. Coming to the eyebrows, basically I like to do it layer by layer. So for the first layer, I'll be using a 2B pencil. You can also use any lighter graded pencil like 2B or HB. And after that, I'll be blending some graphite powder on it. To do this, you can also use a tissue paper. Tissue papers basically give a very smooth blending. Hold the tissue paper the right way I am showing and then blend it. Now to add darker values, I'll be using these camlin charcoal pencils. It's quite cheaper than other charcoal pencils and thus is very convenient for beginners to work with. And let's pick one of them and start working with it. I have procured this pack of charcoal pencils from Amazon. Now while doing this, try to work in very smaller sections. Try to observe your reference picture nicely and then draw these strokes slowly. After the completion of the second layer, redo the same thing for 2 to 3 times until you think that it's perfect. Make sure that you blend these hairlines after each layer you apply. Now we'll try to add some highlights to it. It will help you to create more realism in your sketch and also bring naturality. Now you may wonder to see what kind of highlighter I was using here. Basically, it is a DIY highlighter I made at my home from an empty kajal container. Now the best thing about this container is that when I rotate the body of it, the eraser I inserted into it, comes out, which gets really easy and convenient to use. And if you want to know that how I made it, then do let me know in the comment box. I'll definitely share a tutorial on it. You can see that the look of the eyebrow completely changed when I used this highlighter. And this is what a highlighter do. Now coming to the eye part, I've already applied a base layer as I've said earlier, and now I'll be going with the shadows. For this I am using a charcoal powder. Now I will quickly darken the outlines before they get completely invisible. While drawing the iris, I'll be leaving a square portion for highlights. And then we'll create a darker border around the iris. You can also skip this part now and do it later on. Now for adding textures to the eye, I'll be drawing these parallel lines. For the pupil, I'll be using the same charcoal pencil and blending it with a blending brush. Now as we are doing it layer by layer, so now I'll try to do the second layer with the same charcoal pencil. Now for creating some more textures, I'll try to apply these dot-like structures to it. And then finally blending it with a blending brush. You can also use a paper stump according to your preference. Just that I'm more comfortable with using blending brush and so I'm using it. Now for doing the highlights, I'll be going with the same mono eraser I made. Here I am adding some more darker values to get a better contrast. Now coming to the darker lash line, I'll be using charcoal powder for this. Also blending it to the inner portion. We'll add some shades to the inner corners and then leave it for further details. Now redo the same thing on the other side as well. I'll be also adding some more shades to the eyelid and then leaving it for further details. Now when you are going with the eyelashes, make sure that you work in very smaller sections. It will help you to get a better grip on each strokes you made. Now for doing this, I'm using the same charcoal pencil that I used earlier. You can also use micron pens or mechanical pencils, whatever you prefer. You often find it very challenging while drawing longer lashes, and if you do so, then follow this simple trick. All you have to do for this is to divide the length of the lashes and then start working on the tips. And it will really help you to draw some beautiful curved long lashes. Now after you are done with the tips section, draw the roots of the lashes and then join them to the tips. I've used the same process for all the lashes and the result is quite beautiful. To add highlights in between, I'll be using charcoal pencils. You can also use the Tombow eraser for this purpose. Now coming to the lower lashes, they are much smaller than the upper lashes and so can be done with single strokes only. After this, I'll also be blending the lower lash line to add some depth to the picture. For the eyelids to shade, I'm using 2B and 6B pencils and blending it with a blending brush. And then to add details, I'm using the same Mono Zero eraser and a kneaded eraser. But here, I'll recommend you to use a kneaded eraser for adding skin textures. Well, so this is it for today's video. I hope you liked the video. I hope you liked all the tricks I have shown. And in case you have any queries regarding it, then do let me know in the comment box. We'll be coming up with some amazing videos soon. Until then, be creative and keep creating.